Hello, pumpkins. I hope that you and your families are doing well and staying at home and following all directions given by the government. So hopefully we'll be back to school soon. So today we are going to start discussing a new lesson from Unit 3. We will still cover verbs, but we are going specifically, I'm going to cover spelling the past tense. I will start this class discussion by apologizing because I know that by the end of it, I'll make tons of mistakes. So just bear with me, okay? All right, so let's get started. Spelling the past tense, okay? And you guys will need your English notebook or loose leaf paper and a pencil because you will need to write some notes in between the class discussions that are going to help out at the end throughout the discussion. Okay. Good thing about this is that you can pause it and you can get your notebook, you can get the loose leaf paper, you can get the pencil, and then come back to your laptop or your tablet or your phone and continue to listen to the class discussion and start taking notes. So it's perfect. Let's continue. Okay, so when we're talking about spelling the past tense, you know that for English, for grammar, we have many, many rules that we have to learn in order to have excellent grammar. And this is no different, okay? So when we are talking about spelling the past tense, there are 4 rules that you guys need to remember and that you need to memorize, okay? And we're going to start with number 1 here. And just so you know, we are on English book pages 108 and 109. So if you have your book, you can read it from the book. If you don't have the book, you can just read it from the presentation that I created. And also you can download the pages that I uploaded for the students that were not able to get their books so that they don't fall behind, okay? So rules for spelling the past tense. We are going to start with rule number 1. And in rule number 1, it says that most verbs we are going to add ed. And we've already covered part of this in class. And we know that when we are working with past tense verbs, they're divided in 2. We have the regular verbs and we have the irregular verbs. And we've covered through them just a little bit. We've taken a glance of it, but we haven't really covered them. And this is what this is all about today. Okay, so when we are talking about most verbs adding ed at the end to form the past tense, we are covering regular verbs, okay? So this is all about regular, the ones that end with ed. So to most verbs, we're going to add ed. For example, we have play, call, we add ed to both, and it would say we played, meaning the past tense, something that you did yesterday, maybe something that you did during the morning, okay? Dad called us, and here we have another example. We just add ed. So that's what's going to happen. To most verbs, we are going to add ed to form the past tense. The second rule that you guys have to remember is verbs ending with e, and I know this is going to sound kind of silly, you are going to drop the e and you are going to add ed. I know it's silly, why not just add the d? But it's important that you remember the rule as I'm telling you now, because it's going to help you with different tenses that you guys are going to learn further along, okay? So verbs ending with e, we're going to drop the e and then we add ed. For example, grave and rope. These are 2 verbs that ends with e. So what are we going to do? We're going to drop the e. The e means that we're going to erase it. We're going to drop it. And then we add the ed. So the cattle grazed. He roped a calf. Okay? So notice that we only have 1 e because we dropped the e, that the base verb, remember that this is what we call the base form of the verb, already had an e. So we dropped that e and then we added the ed. This is why graced only has 1 e and roped only has 1 e. Let's move on to rule number 3. Oh, let's go back. Sorry about that. Okay, rule number 3. Verbs ending with a single vowel and a consonant, you're going to double the consonant and add ed. Now, we have to be careful with this with this one because this one can be a bit tricky. So what I want you to do is this with single vowel. The word single means just one, right? So if a verb has one vowel and it ends with a consonant, we're going to double the consonant and add ed. For example, stop. Let's look at the verb stop. Stop is a one-syllable word. Stop, remember syllable, stop, it's one syllable, perfect. And it has a single vowel. Notice that there is no other vowel. Remember that our vowels are A, E, I, O, and U, okay? The rest of the letters in the alphabet, those are consonants, okay? That's a little reminder for you guys not to, just in case you forgot. So when you have a verb that has a single vowel, that means just one, and it ends with vowel consonants such as stop, we are going to double the consonant. In the verb stop, our consonant is P. So notice how when in the sentence we wrote the horse stopped, we have a double consonant and then the ed. Same thing with tug. Tug is a single vowel, it has a single vowel, excuse me, and it ends with a vowel consonant. I'm trying to show the arrow here to point at this here. So we have one vowel and the verb ends in vowel consonant. So when that happens, we double the consonant and then we add ed, such as I tugged the rope. The verb tugged has a double consonant. Rule number 4, verbs ending with a consonant and Y, we change the Y to I and add ed. We change the Y to I and add ed. And I know that this sounds familiar because we covered this when we worked with the present tense rules, okay? So, carry is a verb that ends in consonant. Here's a consonant R, and it ends with Y. So what do we do when we have verbs ending with a consonant and Y? We change the Y to I, here it is, and then we add ed. So man carried rope. You see how we changed the Y to I, and then we added the ed. Let's go to the second example, hurry. Hurry is a verb that ends with a consonant and Y. Mr. Villamosa, I'm not getting this. What do you mean it ends with a consonant and Y? Look at the verb hurry. Is hurry a verb that ends with Y? Yes, yes it is. You're right. So now let's look at the letter before the Y. R. Is R a consonant or is it a verb? Letter R is a consonant. So the verb hurry ends with a consonant Y. So the rule states that when the verb ends with a consonant and Y, we're going to change the Y to I and add ed to form the past tense, which is what we're working with, okay? So this is why hurry, which ended with a consonant and Y, now ends with I, ed, because we changed the Y to I, and we added ed at the end to form the past tense. So we have men carried ropes. They hurried out. Now, can you think of other verbs that maybe end with a consonant and Y? I want you to try. You got it? Yes. Try is a verb ending with a consonant and Y. So we would say tried, T-R-I-E-D. I hope that you guys are getting this. And if you are not, you need to study this. So you can just go back to this. You can pause it. You could write it on that piece of paper or on your notebook. Like I said at the beginning of the presentation that you needed either your notebook or a loose leaf paper. And this is the reason why, because I want you to copy the rules for spelling the past tense. And I want you to keep that paper with you. You could do it on a sticky note. If you want to be creative and you have different sticky notes, you can do the rules in different sticky notes. You can write them and just keep them near you until we finish the presentation. And not only that, but at the end of the presentation, I'm going to give you other directions, and you guys are going to continue to work. You will work on your extra practice. So having the rules with you, although you already have them in the book, you can still copy them and rewrite them, because sometimes that helps so that it stays in your head. Okay. All right. So we've already covered the rules for spelling the past tense, and there are only 4. Again, number 1, most verbs we are going to add ed. For number 2, verbs ending with e, we drop the e and then we add ed. Or number 3, verbs ending with a single vowel and a consonant, you're going to double the consonant and add ed. Remember that these are the ones that you can look at it, and when you see the verb, you're going to notice that it only has one vowel. And again, guys, vowels, A-E-I-O-U. Those are our vowels, such as stop. Stop is a one syllable, word. It has a single vowel, and it ends with vowel consonant. And when that happens, you double the consonant. So stop turns into stopped with double consonant, double P. Tug changes from tug. When you look at it, it's a one syllable word. And I hope that you guys can, when I talk about one syllable words, you know exactly what it means. When you break down a word, how many syllables does it have? For example, dictionary. How many syllables in dictionary? Dictionary. There are 4 syllables in dictionary. So, and you guys you've gone in a lot of practice in your Spanish class, and we've also done it in previous classes. So I hope that you guys remember that one syllable words, and where the word only has one vowel, and that verb ends in vowel consonant, you double the consonant. Here it is. One syllable word, tug. Let's see, tug, one syllable word. It has a single vowel, A-E-I-O-U. Here you go. It has the U. And it ends with vowel consonant. When that happens, we double the consonant. Here it is. Okay, and then we add ed. Rule number 4, which should be the most familiar one to you because we've covered this with previous tenses. Verbs ending with a consonant and Y. And again, when we're talking about consonant, we're talking about every other letter in the alphabet, excluding, not talking about the vowels. We take out the vowels, A-E-I-O-U, we take it out. So that leaves us with B, C, D, F, G, H. You guys know the rest. And if you need to write it, that's fine. If you want to write down the alphabet, you could do it and circle the vowels, A, E, I, O, and U. Those are our vowels. If you need to do that, if that works for you, again, you could do it on a sticky note, you could do it on loose leaf paper, whatever works for you guys, okay? So verbs ending with a consonant and Y, change the Y to I and add ed. And here we have carry and hurry. And I know that I'm being repetitive, but I really want you to work on this. We have carry, we look at the verb carry, it ends, we notice that it is a verb that ends in Y, and we look at the letter before the Y and we notice and we acknowledge, we identify letter R as a consonant. And the rule says that a verb ending with a consonant and Y, we are going to change the Y to I, and then we add ed. Perfect. Now let's get some practice. What is the past tense of each verb? And if you have your book, whether it's the copy or you have the English book per se at home, we're working on page 108. Try it out, speak up. What is the past tense of each verb? Let's see. And here I have a table with all 16 words that you have in the book in the copy that I uploaded. And we're going to do this together, okay? So now we have 4 rules that I said that you need to memorize, you need to study them, because this is the only way that you're going to be able to work with this, okay? I know that having the paper next to you should help, and I did tell you to copy the rules either on a sticky note or on your notebook or loose leaf paper for you to have them nearby. But there are different ways that you can work with this. For example, we have 4 rules and we have specific ones. It says most verbs, which is the one that covers a lot, because most verbs, we have a lot of verbs. right? So this one is like the most, the catchy one. You need to be careful with this one. Number two, it specifically talks about verbs ending with E. So if you see a verb that ends with E, you know exactly what to do. You know that you need to drop the E and then add ED. And again, if you need to go back and check, look at the rules for spelling the past tense, that is fine, okay? Number three talks about verbs ending with a single vowel and a consonant. So you know exactly what to look for here. And then number four covers verbs ending with a consonant and Y. Why am I repeating this again? Because we are getting ready to try this out, and we're going to do the past tense of each of these verbs. But I want you to think for a little bit because, for example, number one, splash. Let's look at the word splash. Today I splashed. Yesterday I splashed. Okay, that's one way of doing it. You can try to make a sentence in your head using yesterday in the sentence. Yesterday, I splashed my little brother with water. And by pronouncing it, maybe you'll know exactly what to do. You tell me, Mr. Bielmosa, well, you know what we need to do is we need to write splashed. It ends with ed because to most verbs we add ed. Another thing that you can do is what I've taught you, the process of elimination. You look at the word splash, splash. Is it a verb ending with E? No. So are you going to follow rule number two? No, you're not. Let's look at the word splash again. Is it a verb ending with a single vowel and a consonant? No. It does have a single vowel. There is only one. But the word splash, the verb splash, ends with SH, which is consonant, consonant. So rule number three does not apply. Verbs ending with a consonant and Y. The splash ends with a Y? No, so we shouldn't even look at verbs 2, 3, and 4, which means that rule number one would be the one that we use for this one. So for splash, we would use rule number one, and I'm just going to add rule number one here. Okay? Let's go to number two. Number two, hum. Now, out of rules 1, 2, 3, and 4, which one do you think you'll be able to use for this one? Let's see. Is there a specific rule that you think will go? Oh, so you say verbs ending with a single vowel and a consonant. Let's see. Hum. Not only that, but it's a one syllable word. So we have hum. Hum has one syllable. Let's see. Hum. It's one syllable word. Yes, it is. Not only that, but it has a single vowel. Here it is. It only has one U in the verb, and it ends in vowel consonant. So hum, what do? What rule follows there? It's rule number three, which says double the consonant and add ed. So we double the consonant, which is M, and then we add ed. And yes, that's my dog going crazy. Buddies. She hears other dogs barking and she goes a little bit crazy, but that's part of it. I can't do anything about that, so I apologize for that. Okay, so we double the consonant and then we add ed. Perfect. Let's go to number three, bake. Let's look at the verb bake. Bake. Out of the four rules that we've covered, which one talks or states the specific rule for verbs ending with E? Rule number two. So what do we do with rule number two? We drop the E. So we drop the E. What does that mean? Bake. We just drop the E and then we add ed. Perfect. So bake turns into baked. And we would be following rule. What rule is this? Rule number two. Perfect. And this is why you guys need to have your notes with you so that you can read it again, so that you can avoid going back and pausing it and going back. Just look at your notes and you can try this. Okay, let's look at number four, fry. Fry is, let's look at fry. Fry is a verb that ends in Y. Now let's look at the letter before Y. That's a consonant, right? So we would use rule number four, verbs ending with consonant and Y. we change the Y to I and add ED. So that's what we would do. We would change the Y to I, there it is, and then we add ED. So I hope that you guys are getting this. So we are following rule number 4. So then we would add a number 4 next to it. The number 4 doesn't actually need to be highlighted, but it doesn't really matter. I did it with the other ones, it doesn't matter. So what I want you to do is this. I want you to continue to work on this. Watch. It's not a verb that ends with E. It's not a verb that ends with a single vowel and a consonant. It is not a verb that ends with a consonant and Y. So watched, it would be watched. We just add ED and we follow rule number 1. Okay. Here we go. So rule number 1. I keep saying that I don't want to highlight it, but it automatically does it. So, okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to continue to work on 6, 7, 8, and all the way to 16 using your rules, looking at the paper that you have. And, okay, I'm just going to give you a minute, and you guys will be back to you, okay? Okay. So we have save. Save is a verb that ends with E, and we have a rule. Rule number 2 that states verbs ending with E. We drop the E, and then we add ED. Perfect. Drop. The verb drop. Drop is a 1-syllable word. There's a single vowel, and it ends with single vowel and consonant. So we're going to follow rule number 3, which states that we're going to double the consonant, there it is, and then we add ED. So we double the consonant, and then we add ED. And what rule number is this again? Can't hear you. Rule number 3, yes. Kidding. Okay, study. Let's look at the word study, verb ending with consonant and Y. We change the Y to I, and then we add ED. Okay, and what rule are we following here? And it keeps highlighting it, Y. Number 4. There you go. Okay, so I hope that you guys are, some of you are already finished, and some of you are just waiting for me to do it. I hope not. So let's continue. Slip. Let's look at the word slip. Slip. First thing I notice, it's a single vowel. There's only one vowel. But just because it has a single vowel does not mean that I'm going to double the consonant. There are other things that I have to do. So slip, it's a 1-syllable word. It does have a single vowel, so check mark. It ends with vowel consonant, with IP, that's vowel consonant. So for slip, we double the consonant and then we add ED. Okay, and we are following rule number 3. And then talk, talked, we just add ED. It's rule number 1. Divide. Divide is a verb that ends with E, so we're going to use rule number 2. We drop the E, right? There it is, and then we add ED. Divide it. And because the verb in its base form ends with E, it means that we followed rule number 2 to form the past tense. Worry, first thing that I noticed is that worry is a verb that ends with Y. And there's a rule that we have here for Y. It says verbs ending with a consonant and Y, change the Y to I and add ED. So now it ends with Y, so okay, good. But now I need to check to see if it ends with a consonant and Y. So I look at the letter before the Y, and it's an R, and I know that R is a consonant, so I know that I have to change the Y to I and then add ED. Okay. And then we have hop. Hop, we like the sound of that. Okay, so hop is a verb that has a single vowel. Immediately I see it and I see that it only has one vowel, has an O. It's a single syllable, one syllable word. So hop, one syllable word. It has a single vowel. Now I just need to double check that it's vowel consonant, and it does end with vowel consonant, so I double the P and then I add ED. Okay, and what rule? For this one, I forgot to add the 4. And for this one, what rule are we following? We're following rule number 3. Okay? Trip. Let's talk about trip. Let's look at the word trip. What do you guys notice? It's a single vowel. Yes, it's only one vowel, I. It's a one syllable word. Let's see. Trip. Use your hands. Let's clap. Trip. Yes, it's a one syllable word. It has a single vowel. Now let's double check that it ends with vowel consonant, and it does. So I just double the consonant and then I add ED. And this is rule number 3. And now we have spray. Now, let's look at the word and the verb spray. Spray ends with Y, and I know that in the rule that I'm learning, I have a rule that talks about verbs ending with Y, but the rule says verbs ending with a consonant and Y. So now let's look at the word spray. Spray, does it end with Y? Yes, it does. But we have to look at the letter before the Y. Let's look at the letter before the Y. Is letter A consonant? No, it's not. You're right. A is a vowel. So we are not using rule number 4 because we have a vowel and a Y. So in this case, we just have to follow rule number 1. We just add ED. Okay. Remember the process of elimination. Okay. Hey guys, the highlighting thing is driving me crazy. Okay. So I am going to just fix this because I like for it to be in a neat pattern. Okay. And then we have look. We have look. And today I look, yesterday I looked. If you want to do the process of elimination because you don't know how to form the past tense for look, you could go to number 2. Is look a verb that ends with E? No, it's not. Is it a verb that ends in a single vowel and consonant? No, it's not. The word look has 2 vowels, so rule number 3 doesn't apply. Rule number 4, verbs ending with a consonant and Y. Look does not end with Y, so if it's not 2, not 3, and not 4, it's got to be number 1. So here you go, okay? And just do the process of elimination till you memorize the rules, till you know the rules by heart, and that's pretty much all you could do. Okay. So we already have that covered. We already did the try it out together. Let's continue with on your own on page 109. And in this case, you're going to use the past tense of the verb in parentheses. And this is a parenthesis here. These are parentheses, okay? To complete each sentence. And we are on page 109. You're going to read it, and then you are going to form past tense. The grandparents blank a cattle ranch. And by using the rules, you're going to decide how are you going to form the past tense. So the grandparents owned a cattle ranch. Very good. In that case, we just added the ED. Rule number 1 is the rule that would apply to sentence number 1. 18, the whole family planned the summer drive. Now notice that there's a double consonant. Why do you think that is? Well, according to rule number 3, Verbs ending with a single vowel and a consonant, you double the consonant and add ed. I also told you that for one syllable words, you're going to do this. So there are three things that you have to look for. One syllable words, plan, check mark. Single vowel, the word plan has a single vowel because there's only one A, so check mark. Does it end with vowel in consonant? Yes, it does. So in that case, we double the consonant and then we add ed. Perfect. Let's go to number 19. They blank the cattle to new pastures. So, and our verb is move. Now let's look at the verb move. Is there a rule from the rules for spelling the past tense that would help here? Yes. What rule is that? Rule number 2. Because rule number 2 states that verbs ending with E, we drop the E and then we add ed. So notice that move had one E, and when we drop the E and add ed, we only have one E in moved. Should not have two E's because the E, you have to drop it, okay, before you add the ed. So let's go to number 20. At night, they blank at a water hole, and the verb is stop. I like making that sound, that popping sound. So stop, stop. Let's see, stop. It's a one syllable word. Stop, one syllable word. It has a single vowel. There's only one vowel in it, and it ends with vowel consonant. That's so important. The ending, vowel consonant. So it does, and because it does, we are going to double the consonant and then add ed at the end. So at night, they stopped at a water hole. Number 21, the adults blank dinner over a campfire. And our verb is cook. So if you go through the rules for spelling the past tense, you'll know that all you have to do for cook is add ed. So the adults cooked dinner over a campfire. Number 22, Louis blank buckets of water. And we have the verb carry. Now, carry, we realize, we identify immediately that carry ends with a Y. But just because it ends with a Y, we're not just going to go immediately to rule number 4. We have to double check that it ends with Y and that the letter before it is a consonant. Letter R is a consonant. So in this case, we change the Y to I and add a D. We change the Y to I and add a D. We can do the little music and the little dance that we do in class, no problem. Okay, so number 23. After dinner, he blanked the dishes, and we have the verb wash. So what are you going to do? You're going to go through the rules. You're going to see which one would fit better. You could do the process of elimination, or you just may know that we just need to add ed to wash. So wash turns into washed the dishes, and that's awesome. Let's go to number 24. Christina blanked them, and the verb is dry. So we look at the verb, we notice that it ends with a Y. We know that we have a rule that talks about verbs ending with Y, but specifically verbs ending with a consonant in Y. So we have to be careful. We got to not only identify the Y, but we also have to identify that there is a consonant before the Y. So dry turns into dried. The Y changes to I, and then we add the ed. Are you guys with me so far? Am I going too fast? The good thing is that you can pause it, go back, you can listen to the directions again, to the explanations again, and then you can just hit play once you're ready to continue. Okay, so all we're missing is from page 109 is my favorite part, which is the proofreading part. And in this proofreading part, which is from 25 to 30, we have 6 misspelled verbs in past tense. So we're going to read it. We are going to identify those verbs that are written incorrectly, and we are going to fix them together. Okay? So for that, let me come to the screen. And it says, we started, dear Jared, we started the 3rd day of the cattle drive today. Did you identify a mistake in this first sentence? Did you? Chencho, Giuliani, Areli, No wine on my pumpkins. Did you see the mistake? Okay, so here we go. Started, yes, started. It's incorrect. It should be how. It should only have an ed. The baseline for started is start, and we know that to most verbs we add ed, so we just need to add ed to start. We don't need to double the consonant. We only do double the consonant for what? For single, what is it? Okay, yes, for one syllable words that have a single vowel and ends with consonants. If you look at the word start, start does have a single vowel. There's only one vowel, which is A. But let's look at the ending. Start. Start ends with RT, which is consonant consonant. So we cannot use rule number 3 for this one. We would have to use rule number 1. Okay, so then we continue. It turned exciting. Did you identify the verb in the sentence? It turned exciting. Yes, turned. There's a mistake in turned. Shouldn't double the consonant. Okay, and it's the same thing as start. The baseline for turned is turn. And if you look at it, turn does have a single vowel, but turn does not end in vowel consonant. Turn ends with RN. R is a consonant, N is a consonant. So rule number 3 cannot be applied to this verb. So we have to just add ed, and that is all we need to do. Okay. Perfect. One cow walked away from the herd. Is there a mistake in that sentence? One cow walked away from the herd. We identify the verb. We have walked, and it seems correct. The base form for walked is walk. So they just added the ed, which is perfect. There is not a mistake in that sentence. So Louis and I hurried after the stray. Should have a period here. So Louis and I hurried after the stray. So we identify the verb in the sentence, which is hurried, right? Hope that you guys were able to identify the verb hurried. And if you look at the verb, we see hurried, but it has a Y. What is the baseline for hurried? The baseline for hurried is hurry. So let's look at the verb hurry. We have a rule that says verbs ending with a consonant Y. We change the Y to I, and then add ed. So when you look at the verb hurry, it does end with Y, but we have to look at the letter before the Y, and it's an R. So rule number 4 does apply to this one, so we would have to change the Y to I and then add ed. So that's what we need to do. So we're looking for 6 misspelled verbs, and we've already found 3. And we are following rule number 4 for this one, okay? Which is perfect. Okay, let's go to the next sentence. Louis trotted up behind it on his horse. So we identify the verb. I know that this is a different type of verb, trotted. The verb is trot, and trot means to like run at a moderate pace. It's like something, it's a pace faster than a walk, but not running, trotting, like jogging almost. Okay, I think jogging would be a synonym for trotted. So, and horses trot, So the base verb for trotted is trot. Okay, we look at the word and we realize that this is a single vowel verb and that it ends with vowel consonant. So we double the last consonant and then we add ed. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm trying to move quick here. Don't fall asleep on me, please. Okay, so then both of us guided the cow back. Then both of us, what did we do? We guided. So guided is the verb. It doesn't have a mistake, so we move on. Mom and dad clapped their hands. Clapped. Okay, so we notice that there's something weird here, and the verb, the base verb for clapped is flap. So let me write it, clap. So clap seems to be a verb ending with a single vowel and consonant. Rule number 3. Let's see, is it a one-syllable word? Clap. Yes, it is. Does it have a single vowel? Yes, it does. Check mark. Does it end with vowel consonant? Yes, it does. So we double the consonant and we add ed. Rule number 3, it's used for this verb. Let me add rule number 3 right next to it. Okay. Grandpa praised us for good work. And what did Grandpa do? He praised. Okay, he praised. This is a verb in the sentence. And what is the base form for this verb? Praise. Praise. Okay, so we realize, we identify, we acknowledge, we see that praise is a verb that ends with E. So we know that we have to, according to the rule number 2 says that verbs ending with E, we drop the E and then we add ed. So we drop the E and then we add ed. So now it's praised. Okay, and this would be rule number 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this, we forgot to do rule number 1 because we just added ed. So we found the 6 misspelled verbs in the past tense. I hope that you guys are getting this. I hope that this is enough practice. Let's continue. Okay, so now what I want you to do is, I want you to, oh my Lord. What I want you to do is, you guys are going to practice now. You guys are going to work on page, for the extra practice on page 130. You're going to follow the same rule that we would do as if we were in the class. You're going to read the directions carefully, and you're going to do as the directions tell you. You don't have to copy the directions, but you're going to read them carefully, and you're going to do what it says. So when you go to page 130 of your book, or if you scroll down from the upload pages on Google Classroom, you're going to read each section. Don't forget that we have the circle section, the triangle section, and the square section. And you are going to read the directions and look at the example and then do what it says. Okay? Read the directions, look at the example, and do what it tells you to do. You're going to do it in your English notebook or on a loose leaf paper. And I really hope that this discussion helped. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me. I will answer your email as soon as I get it. As soon as I read it, I'll get back to you, okay? So I hope this helps. I miss you guys. Please keep safe.